Welcome to the Our Team Podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you.
Welcome to the Our Team Podcast. I am Brian Auer, and I have an incredible guest here today. And I'm pointing at you because some people watch these things and some people just listen to them. But I'm pointing at you because you are the incredible guest. How does that feel?
Hey, it's awesome. Love it.
The incredible guest. Should we go by your real name or just Rocco?
Rocco's fine.
Rocco's cool. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Rocco Blaze with us today. Has anybody ever told you that kind of sounds like a rock star name?
I have. I've also heard other things.
Like a stoner, maybe?
Porn star?
Oh, gee. Whoa. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I wasn't thinking that.
No, well, I don't either, but
Yeah, but you've had people tell you that?
And it's with an S, not a Z.
Oh, okay. So BLASE?
Yeah. It's Italian descent. It also known as, I don't know how they get this, Biagio.
Okay.
So,
Wow. When I had Siri call you the other day, I said, Siri, call Rocco Blaze. And she said, calling Rocco Blase.
Yep.
Calling Rocco Blase. And I'm like, what the heck is Rocco? It's because it's spelled with the S.
Well, it has the, if you put the little
Tilde?
Above.
Yeah, the
Which
accent thing.
word does that all the time?
Yeah.
And so that's, people will
Gotcha.
call telemarketers.
Yeah.
Is this Rocco Blase?
What do you think happens to my last name? Nobody can pronounce my last name the first time. If you don't know, most of the people that are listening to this do know my last name, and they know how to pronounce it because we say it all the time.
Sure.
But when you see an A, a U, an E together, that's just way too many vowels. Something's missing here, right? So what most people do is they assume that my U is a V, because aver makes a lot more sense than whatever that other word would be with the U in there. So most people will pronounce my name Aver because they think they are convinced that U is a V.
Well, my wife is Tamara, and it's always Tamara.
Tamara, yeah. She'll get around to it, Tamara.
Yep, Tamara.
Today we're going to be talking about something pretty cool. We went over this in a team meeting, but I thought we could do like just a short, maybe 10, 15-minute podcast. We like to keep these podcasts kind of short, and we've had a lot of people thank us for that, which could be a bad sign, right? Thank you for keeping those things so short because they're so bad.
Well, we're not Andrew Huberman with,
millions and millions of followers.
in 3-hour podcasts,
Oh, yeah. Speaking of long podcasts, I got way down the rabbit hole on a Joe Rogan podcast once. I didn't look at how long it was, but my buddy sent it over to me. He said, "You got to check this out. It's the coolest thing." And it was like Joe Rogan talking to a couple of different guys about flat Earth and a bunch of, just crazy stuff, right? And I got so wrapped up in it, but it was 3 hours and 35 minutes long. And you can't stop. You can't go halfway, and then So I just had it rolling for the whole afternoon, and it was just it was too long.
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit of editing, a little bit of goes a long way.
I like podcasts when I'm out walking the dog.
Yeah,
and you're just listening to it,
Yep.
and to me that's the best way to absorb it. You're in your own little world. Nobody
Exactly.
coming in the room, bug it. What are you doing?
yeah. Well, we don't know what you're doing when you're listening to this right now, or watching it on Facebook Live, or watching it as a replay somewhere on YouTube.
Right.
But I think if you give this a little listen, you might learn something pretty cool. Today we're going to be talking about reverse mortgages, but specifically not so much reverse mortgages on if you are somebody that can do a reverse. Like, I don't want to talk. This is who I want our audience to be. Okay. And I think it's important to frame this. I want to talk about reverse mortgage to real estate agents that are working with buyers that qualify for a reverse mortgage, but they kind of don't know anything about it, so they don't even know that they can suggest that as, a unique selling proposition.
All right, well, let's change the vernacular.
Okay.
R4P.
R4P. So don't call it a reverse mortgage. Call it an R4P.
Correct.
How, does that differ from C3PO or R2D2?
I don't know.
Do you know what those are?
I do.
They're not loan products.
No.
They're from Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to call it that. And why? Is there an actual difference too, or is it just you just want to change the narrative?
Because the reverse, it has a long history.
Okay.
And a lot of it, years back, it was very negative.
Okay.
And
So you want to change the name of it because reverse mortgage is kind of can be looked at as kind of a negative thing.
sure. And it was born again in the 2013 timeframe when they changed a lot of the guidelines.
Okay.
Because there was, like I said, a lot of negativity when it came to whether a person would lose their home, a widow that was left behind.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that occurred. So really it's not to deceive anybody, it's to give it its due.
Okay.
The opportunity that it presents is amazing.
And that's what I want to talk about because a lot of agents don't really know much about it.
Sure.
So we have a lot of newer real estate agents that listen to this podcast very often. And so educate the agent on how they can leverage reverse mortgage to be more helpful to their buyers that qualify.
Well, it increases their buying power, and that alone is huge. If we're talking about a R4P, which a majority of them are going to be a HECM, which is home equity conversion mortgage,
Okay.
which is backed by the FHA. It's insured by the FHA. So that's very important to know. It's for seniors, 62, which
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. But
Right.
they first need to know that. You've got
Sure.
it. In order to use this loan, you first have to qualify for it.
Correct.
And the first bar to qualify really is age, 62.
Sure. You have to be 62. And with that, you also have to have, if you're doing a purchase, there's an equity position that you have. So there's a mathematic equation that goes into the system in order to come up with what they qualify for.
Right.
Right? So the older you are, the more you qualify for, the bigger of a reverse mortgage that you can get.
And why is it called a reverse mortgage?
Because an actual conventional mortgage, a VA mortgage, an FHA mortgage is really a forward mortgage.
Okay.
So it's the opposite.
Forward meaning you put money down and then they're loaning you all the money to purchase.
Right. And you have to make a payment.
You're making a payment on the interest and a little bit of principal.
Correct. So you're paying down that principal balance. Where in a reverse, there is no payment. You're still paying taxes. You're still paying insurance, HOA. You have to maintain the home. That's a requirement. But it's now in reverse. So instead of paying it down, it's the balance is going up behind the scenes.
Interesting. Okay. And so if an agent knows how to use this, and obviously they're working with older, more seasoned citizens, right?
Sure.
And so let's say somebody is in their 70s and they want to move from maybe Orange County out to Marietta and maybe buy in a really cool 55-plus community. We have several out here that are great. Or maybe it's not a 55-plus community. It's just a, neighborhood that's closer to the kids. They have maybe $400,000 cash.
Okay.
But you can't buy a house for $400,000 cash out here. There's no way. So instead of putting $400,000 on, let's say they could get something for $6,000.
Okay.
Instead of putting $300,000 down and having a mortgage at $300,000, they would do a reverse mortgage, put $300,000 down, and then not have a payment?
Correct. So just depending, like you said, on the age,
Yeah.
if they're 70-something, it's going to be approximately,
Right.
call it 50% to simplify things. So now they don't have a mortgage payment.
Mm-hmm.
They still have taxes, insurance. They still have, HOA. They have all those things.
Sure.
But instead of taking all that cash and putting it down on a house, and they can't even reach their goal anyway.
Right.
Or flip side, get a forward mortgage. They're getting a conventional, but they're now retired and they're on a fixed income, so they don't qualify. So they're stuck in the house that they're in.
Right.
Right? They have a lot of equity or equity rich, but they don't have the ability to move that equity.
Right.
So
Wow.
the reverse is take a portion of that money or potentially all of it, because the thing is it doesn't have to be a 55 plus community. It could be they want to buy a home that is grandchildren friendly. They want
Yeah.
a pool. They want a bocce ball court. I don't know.
Right.
There's some cool things that maybe
I don't know of any
want.
kids that play bocce ball.
Okay, well,
Bad example,
But-
Rocco.
there's kids that play in the sand.
Yes, that's true.
So
Right. So maybe a
it's
place.
It's a big sandbox.
It's a big sandbox. So I hope if you're listening to this, you're kind of seeing where we're going with this. There's a lot of buyers out there,
Mhm.
and I mean a tremendous amount of buyers that that don't know, or maybe even thinking right now that they can't move closer to the kids, or they can't move, even though they feel like they have plenty of money to put down on a house, because they're gonna end up, not being able to make ends meet.
Well, let me share some stats.
If
with
you could share, if you're an agent and you know how to get the word
Sure.
out there to that group of people to say, hey, I can help you buy a home out here
Mhm.
and have no mortgage payment, reach out to me so we can talk. I have a feeling that you're going to get a response from those prospects. Or if you're looking to move closer to the grandkids, right? So you're already, as a marketer, I'm thinking of these things, right?
Sure.
You're looking to move closer to the grandkids, then you don't have to say, hey, if you're old, you're already appealing to someone that knows, like, if I've got grandkids, I'm already of age, right?
Sure.
You're looking to move closer to the grandkids, but you're afraid you're going to have a high mortgage. Click here so you can discover how to have that beautiful home near the grandkids and have no mortgage payment.
Absolutely.
And then, put no gimmicks at the bottom, all
Right.
this kind of stuff. It's just about having conversations. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast, because there is a lot of newer agents out there that are thinking of different ways on how they can put a particular message out there to get into more conversations with people, because that's the name of this game. It's all about conversations, right?
Well, it's even big for agents.
Mhm.
Agents themselves are,
That's right.
are in situations where what is the average age of an agent right now? Do you
Well,
know?
I'm still 39 again.
Okay.
So I don't know. No, I don't know. I really don't know what the average is. I do know this, that across the country, 400,000 agents come in every year, and about that same amount leave.
Okay.
So it's a big revolving door when it comes to real estate.
Well, let's talk about the possibilities out there. So
There's a lot of them that would qualify.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
I'm getting real close to 62. Close enough. Both my wife and I. So, at some point that this would be something that we could take advantage of too.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the market as a whole, 39% of the market is baby boomers.
Wow, that's incredible.
Every day, 10,000 boomers turn 65. So, okay.
So
start
more and
doing the
more
math.
people are qualifying for
Right,
this. So
right.
it's a good niche to go after. That's why we're talking about this.
Well, here's the other key. Everybody's like, well, internet. 90% of baby boomers use a real estate agent.
Yeah. Is that a real stat?
Yes,
90% of boomers use a real estate agent.
correct.
Wow, that's cool.
So it's things like that. It's just all of a sudden eyes are open to a
Yeah.
new opportunity that it's been there, but it's kind of silent behind the scenes.
Yeah.
things like this get that word out,
Right.
and get people to understand. And it's all about educating people and making them understand what the opportunity is, the buying power that's increased, just the flexibility that it creates. Like I said, when they feel stuck and they want to move closer to family, there's lots of reasons why they want to move closer to family.
Yeah.
It's not just grandkids. It's also maybe they're aging and Mary has to drive out and pick up mom and take her to wherever.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden she's around the corner.
What if they want to move further away from family because they're
that works
sick
too.
and dang tired of those, kids and the grandkids and all that stuff? They want out of Dodge.
Well, they can even get a manufactured home in the middle of nowhere, and a reverse mortgage will work for that too.
If that's you and you want a manufactured home in the middle of nowhere, then this could be for you.
Sure.
Well, listen, I think that the point of this whole thing is to always be thinking about ways that you can get people to click on your ads, get people to have conversations with, be able to come alongside other agents and to support and help them and get them to the point where they're getting more creative about upping their game. And a lot of it is just having some more unique selling propositions for your prospects. You can turn somebody that wishes they could be a buyer into somebody that goes, oh my gosh, I'm a buyer. And you're the one that's having the conversation with them, so they're very, very, very likely to use you in this process, especially if you learn to understand how the process works. And, you don't need to know everything about it. That's why you have good lenders like you. We could just say, hey, Rocco, I've got a lot of people responding to my ad. I need you to start having some conversations with these people because I'm going to help them find the home. You're going to help them with the lending side of it, or anti-lending, or whatever. Is it lending at that point?
But as an agent, like we were talking about in the meeting, it opens up other opportunities
That's
to
right.
meet other people to network with.
Yeah.
Because one thing that's really important when you're doing a R4P or a reverse mortgage, if they're in their retirement years, I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of them have financial advisors.
Yeah.
And that's a person that's really going to have their nose in it and their ear in it. So that gives the agent an opportunity to network with that person.
Right.
We were talking about folks that they divorce late in life. Like, it's the oddest thing. Somebody's 75 years old and they just say, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We talked about it. Potentially, you could have husband and wife now have their own homes and they can afford it, where they felt they were stuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go rent. No.
Are you advocating for divorce
No.
at 75?
No.
Okay. Good.
I'm not.
But it happens, and if
Sure.
it does, you both qualify for a reverse mortgage.
Right? Well,
Dang.
if the divorce rate goes up tomorrow, it's my fault.
Yeah. I think we just really messed it up. Well, I think that's everything I wanted to cover.
Okay.
We could definitely have you back and really dive deep on how a reverse mortgage works. What I really just wanted the audience to hear is that they exist because of how people are aging up and where the real money is in that age group. It is a very good opportunity to get some niche buyers out of that situation. So
One
That's it?
final thing.
yes,
The boomer generation, the seniors, they control $12 trillion in equity.
isn't that crazy? It's amazing. I heard Barry Habib. I thought Barry Habib said it was 11 trillion, but still,
Somebody rounded up.
someone rounded up on your team. Yeah, the boomers. If you add them all up and look at the equity in all their properties, it's
Mind-boggling.
mind-boggling. So, wow. Well, listen, guys, thanks for joining us. If you got anything out of this, then please like and subscribe. We're very easy to get a hold of. Just reach out. We're pretty quick in our responses, too, by the way.
Absolutely.
Again, thanks for joining us. We will catch you on the next one.